Christian Fundamentals, Spiritual Hierarchies, Part 7, by Zeb Fenton, copyright 2008. This presentation conforms to the teachings of Jesus Christ. In this 7th podcast of the series, I will continue my discussion of the terms, references, and relationships with periods of time, spiritual objects, and spiritual entities. This time, we will discuss more about the sun and moon periods. Before we continue with the sun period directly, let's talk a little more about evil and the end results. The Lucifers, shown in red, are fallen only in the sense that they should have progressed into the region of abstract thought with the rest of the Lords of Mind at the start of the sun period. However, at the human-like stage of all beings, some are unable to progress to the next stage. The beings who could not progress are called fallen. The result of evil is a stronger, more wise, independent humanity. But there is more. Because many of the beings just ahead of man participated in his downfall. Fallen angels, fallen archangels, fallen lords of mind, or Lucifers, fallen lords of form, and fallen lords of individuality, all are responsible for the evil mankind is suffering. Humanity's job is to save those beings by saving ourselves. At each new step in mankind's progression, starting with this earth period, mankind will save the fallen angels from being lost. Mankind does this by conquering the dense body's actions of evil during the extraction of the conscious soul. In the future Jupiter period, humanity will save all the fallen archangels by conquering the vital body and extracting out the intellectual soul. In the Venus period, humanity will save all the fallen lords of mind, or Lucifers, by conquering the desire body and extracting out the emotional soul. In the Vulcan period, humanity will save all the lords of form and most of the rest of the hierarchies, because we will be fully serviceable gods by this time, working as agents of the higher beings, as we will amalgamate our threefold soul with the mind. All our shells will be gone, leaving only the ego and the extracted essence of right action, right desire, and right thought. The Cherubim and Seraphim have been released into liberation and are no longer connected in any way to humanity, as shown in purple. Now, on to the rest of the sun period. The state of consciousness changed from the Saturn period, in which humanity had a trance-like, extremely deep sleep, to the Saturn period's dreamless sleep. The difference between the two is the addition of man's vital body to the already existing group spirit-controlled dense body and the ego. The group spirit controller is a position held by beings with self-conscious picture consciousness. The self-conscious picture consciousness is used by the higher beings to educate lower beings when the lower beings are still in a dreamlike and picture consciousness states. The dreams are the reality, while the dense body, the vital body, and the desire body are under the control of the higher being or beings. One higher being can control many lower beings as a group. This group control is how the angels and archangels now act as group spirit controllers of the animals. The self-conscious picture consciousness beings place pictures inside the consciousness of lower beings. The pictures are the living reality for those beings. The lower beings see in the denser worlds, but the ego does not see or sense the denser worlds. An example is our present-day animals, who see in this world, but the animal ego has not yet connected with the other vehicles, but floats above the body by a thread. In the Sun period, there are two separate sections of humanity. The leaders or pioneers of humanity are leading the way through the Sun period. The second set of humanity are the stragglers from the Saturn period. The Saturn period stragglers did not learn everything the higher beings were trying to teach, but more importantly, the stragglers were so solidified in their Saturn period bodies that the higher beings, the Lords of Flame, the thrones, were unable to awaken the divine spirit. The stragglers ended the Saturn period with a thought form of a dense body, but the divine spirit was not attached by a thread. The first part of the ego was not awakened. The result of this backwardness in the stragglers was the continuation of the Saturn period type of development in the new Sun period. When the Lords of Flame returned in the Sun period to help humanity for a short period of time, they awakened the stragglers' divine spirit. The advancing pioneers of humanity had their life spirit awakened by the cherubim, and the linkage between the divine spirit and the life spirit was completed by the returning Lords of Flame. The pioneers of humanity had at the end of the Sun period an ego with an awakened divine and life spirits, a dense body made of desire stuff, and a thought form vital body. The Bible days are as follows. Day 1, Genesis 1, verses 1 and 2. Day 2, Genesis 1, verses 3 to 5. Day 3, Genesis 1, 6 to 8. Day 4, Genesis 1, 9 to 31 plus, respectively, the Saturn, Sun, Moon, and Earth periods. Once into and past Genesis 1:9, the Bible starts describing the Earth period's fourth revolution, first epoch, the Polarian epoch. The 7 epochs of the fourth revolution are the Polarian, Hyperborean, Lemurian, Atlantean, Aryan, New Galilee, and Kingdom of God. Genesis 2:2. God rested on the 7th day is the beginning of the Aryan epoch. Humanity was freed from the creative hierarchies at the start of the Aryan epoch. That does not mean humanity is free from the lower hierarchies or gods of the forms and shells existing in the worlds of thought, desire, and the physical. Understanding this very fact can lead you to an understanding of why Christ is still working with us. Christ is part of the gods of form and materiality. Next time on Christian Fundamentals, Spiritual Hierarchies Part 8, we will discuss the third great day of man's creation, the Moon period. This concludes Christian Fundamentals, Spiritual Hierarchies Part 7.